morning, train fans, and my special train fans, Ellie and Julian. I'm back from the Train Collectors Association, TCA, York Train Show at York, Pennsylvania. It's a great show. It's on twice a year, and I always try to attend it because there's always things you'll learn. There's an opportunity to share information with your fellow train fans. And also, if you're looking for anything as far as trains are concerned, like locomotives or rolling stock or landscape materials or buildings, or maybe just ideas about how to improve your model railroad, going to these shows is really very, I think, beneficial. So it was certainly beneficial for me because I'm always looking for things, and sometimes it's you find something you've been looking for a long time, and sometimes it's an impulse purchase, just something catches your eye, catches your attention, something maybe you haven't seen before, and if it's the right price and you have the money, of course, you go for it. I find that a lot of the dealers are only cash, but there are some that will take credit or a check, and they're very flexible in that regard. But I kept to a budget, I think, that was reasonable. I didn't spend too much money, but I brought home quite a few things that I've been looking for, and I'm going to share that with you in the video today. One of the items that I picked up probably in the first half an hour that I was at the show, you can see over my shoulder here, it's a black steam engine. I know you can't see the detail of it, but we're going to go into it in a few seconds. It's a Marx 333 steam locomotive from 1955. Yes, that's right. It's 69 years old, and it still runs quite well. It smokes, and it pulls cars, and I'm going to run it around the track for you so you'll get to see it, all right? But it's one I've been looking for a while, and I got it for a really good price. I bargained a little bit, and I was allowed to take it over to a test track to make sure that it was working, and I was very happy to bring it home to put on my layout. It's not the only train that I bought while I was at the show, but we'll talk about the other ones. They're also terrific, and we'll see you back in a few seconds. Okay, the first item that we're looking at that I brought back from the York Train Show is, as I just mentioned, the Marx 333, which is a 462 steam engine that was produced by the Marx Toy Company in 1955, and it was manufactured from 1955 until 1958, so I'm not really sure what year it was, but I would imagine that this particular one is somewhere between 66 and 69 years old, and it is in beautiful condition. You can see the tender has a few scratches along the sides, and I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of restoration work on that. But the locomotive is pretty pristine, and it runs and pulls and smokes quite well, considering its age. And I've been looking for this 333 for a while, and I found it actually within the first 20-30 minutes that I was at the train show, and I got it for a very reasonable price. And I'm looking forward to enjoying it run on my 4x8 layout. So that's the first of the locomotives that I purchased at the York Show, and we'll move along to the next one. Okay, this next locomotive that I picked up at the York Show, and actually this one, kind of the opposite of the one I just talked about, I found this in the Orange Hall about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, which was when I was just about getting ready to head home. And I was fortunate enough to spot this, and it was still in its original box and in very, very pristine condition. This is a Williams 2342 Trainmaster Jersey Central Lines diesel locomotive in beautiful orange and blue color scheme. And it was manufactured in the 1980s by the Williams Company. The Williams Company eventually was purchased by the Bachmann Company, which is still around today. And this locomotive was part of their Crown edition, which meant that they had added some additional features to these trains, and in particular, it's got an electronic reversing system, and it also has a electronic horn that can be activated with your transformer. And I'll try to demonstrate that for you in a few seconds when we have them running around my 4x8 layout. So that's the second locomotive that I picked up. Also a very, very reasonable price. Again, this is one of the reasons I highly recommend if you're looking for something that you'll be able to not only find it, but you'll be able to get something for a very good price, and you won't have to pay eBay shipping charges and things like that. So this was my second purchase, and now I'm going to move on to the third locomotive that I was able to pick up at the show. Okay, so here we have our third locomotive purchase that I picked up. I also got this one towards the latter part of the afternoon at the show, and really lucky to spot it because it was at a phenomenal price for both the A unit that you see here in the foreground, and just a little to the right there, you can see the dummy unit. Of course, you know that the A unit is the one that's powered, and the dummy has no power, but it looks identical to the A unit in every respect. Now, of course, in the real prototypical world, the dummy would have been powered as well, and that's the whole idea, extra pulling power when the train is pulling a long consist of freight cars or passenger cars, as I have actually, if I don't know if you can see it in the background there, I've got a nice long consist of REA express cars and also Pennsylvania Railroad matching passenger cars. Now, if you look closely, you'll notice that these diesels are what they call shark nose, because the nose of the locomotive actually has the appearance of a shark's nose. Okay, you can see that. All right, now these locomotives are powered with two motors, flywheel motors, so they give them a nice prototypical speeds that can slow down to a crawl. They're equipped with headlights, and they're also equipped with an electronic horn, and nice detailing on it, paint scheme and so forth. The 5 gold stripes that you see of the Pennsylvania Railroad, and the number of this locomotive, which is 9732, and the dummy behind it is 9731. It's in the Tuscan red paint scheme with gold lettering for the Pennsylvania Railroad, and it's got nice 4-wheel trucks on it, and they're nice pull. It's a nice pulling locomotive. This particular set was produced in 1995 by the same Williams company that I mentioned, that also made the previous Trainmaster Jersey Central locomotive, and it's a great puller, and I look forward to showing the engine pulling some cars around the track as well. So we'll see you back for that in a few seconds. I also picked up these two beautiful smoke-capable cabooses. These are both Lionel lighted and smoking cabooses, extended vision. The first one, the one on the left, is the Southern Railway 7613 extended vision with smoke, and it also has a puffing capability. So as it rolls around the track, in addition to smoking, there's a mechanism in there that causes the puffing of smoke to come out of its chimney. And the caboose on the right is the Union Pacific Yellow Safety 9706, and it's also a smoking caboose, but it doesn't have the puffing capability. I'll try to demonstrate both of these on the track as well. And I've picked these two cabooses up for the phenomenally low price of only $15 for each one. So that's another reason why I go to these train shows, because you can sometimes pick up some amazing bargains in terrific condition. These are both in fairly pristine condition. The The Southern Railway was a little dusty and didn't come in its original box, but the Union Pacific on the right was in its original box with paperwork and looked like very little track time as well. So we're going to be taking a look at that in a few seconds as well. And last but not least, one of the things I've really been looking for a very long time is what you have before you, which is a Marx 1095B, a 1095B unit from the Marx Santa Fe war bonnet from 1952. Now, I had originally, you can see the powered A unit to the left and the dummy on the right, but I was looking for the B unit, which you see here, and it can be hard to find because most often it is sold as a set with the other two, and unfortunately, of course, when I purchased the A unit and the dummy, I purchased them separately. So every time I went to a train show to try to find this B unit, it would always be part of a set, and typically the seller or the dealer would not want to break the set up. So that made it hard for me to be able to finally obtain this 1095B. One of the things also that we look for with this particular set is that because it's plastic, because the shells are plastic, they're not die-cast metal, one of the most delicate parts of this locomotive and the dummy and the B unit is the step ladder. I'll point this out to you. You see the step ladder there, and there's a step ladder in the middle, and there's a step ladder at the end, okay? And you'll notice that there's a step ladder, 3 step ladders on each side of each of these units, and they are plastic. And in the process, of course, of these trains being played with, these step ladders tend to be broken off. And so finding these units without broken step ladders is a very difficult thing. And I was very fortunate to find this one in pristine condition with all 3 steps in place, not broken. There's no scratches and there's no scrapes or cracks anywhere on the plastic body. And I would remind you, this is from 1952. So certainly it's been around for a long time. Unfortunately, I would have to assume that it had minimal play time to leave it in such good condition that it is. So I'm going to get this set up also to show you it running around the track, pulling some Marx cars, and we'll be back very shortly. Okay, one more video I thought I would add to today's video is I said that I was going to do a little bit of restoration work on this Marx tender that came along with my Marx 333. And as you can see, most of the marks that you saw on the paint are no longer visible on this side of the tender. And I'm going to just pick it up and turn it around so that you can see the other side. You can see that I have also restored this side of the tender. It's not perfect, but it certainly got rid of a lot of those marks. I'll just kind of zero in here on one that I didn't get to. You can see it there by one of the bolts on the side. But it looks pretty good considering the way it looked before. And I just wanted to pass along the technique that I used to work on this. I picked this up watching another YouTube video from one of my fellow YouTube channel authors who doesn't really do much lately, but he had many how-to videos on YouTube. His name was Ben J. I think Ben J, but he went under the name Ben's Trains. And one of the techniques that he used for restoring the finish on some of these die-cast tenders and locomotives was he would use a magic marker, basically, and he would also use motor oil. So he would apply the magic marker to the scratched area and then let the marker dry, and then apply a small dab of motor oil with a brush, and then wipe off the excess and let that dry. And I followed that technique that he used, and this is the result. I can't say that it's perfect, but it certainly looks a lot better than it did before I did anything to it. And outside of just completely repainting the tender, which I didn't really want to do, this looks pretty good. I can live with the results here, and well, you can be the judge as to whether this is a kind of technique that you'd want to use in restoring a tender, a die-cast tender like this that had a lot of scratches on the sides. This is a really nice tender that was the matching tender for the Marx 333. You can see it even has handrails there on the top of the area where the water would be poured in. But anyway, I just thought I'd add this as a little bit of an addition to today's video because I was so impressed with the way Benz's technique worked out for me. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you again soon on the Morrisania and Harlem River Railroad.